the show will talk about old technology are popular and popular, recognize what's secure. And put on your nostalgia glasses, and put on a cool hat while you're at it, because we're going to talk about a thing that debuted it in the 90s. The Microsoft IntelliMouse. Now, the reason why I want to do an episode on it is because it actually played a huge impact in the computer mice industry. But did you know Microsoft actually started making mice in the 80s? And that's what we're going to start with this episode with. So, let's start with the history. Microsoft first started making mice back in 1983 with the Microsoft mouse. Retailed back then for $195. Now, before I scream, $195 for a computer mouse? I need to tell you guys that it was sold as a bundle with Microsoft Word, Notepad, and a training application. Word and Notepad are two applications that Microsoft still develops to this day. In fact, the former is what I'm using to write this episode's script on. The first version of Microsoft uses their proprietary import interface, which requires a card to be used. Keep in mind, this was released a year before Apple made computer mice the norm. In 1985, Microsoft released the gray-eyed mouse, which is the same mouse but having higher resolution DPI. In 1987, Microsoft released a more comfortable mouse called the Dove Bar mouse, due to its resemblance to a bar of soap. That mouse not only came in the in-point variety, but also serial and PS2. They also released a trackball mouse in 1981. Then in 1993, the kidney bean-shaped mouse was released. It became the basis for this episode's topic, the Microsoft IntelliMouse. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but in 2023, which is still this year, Microsoft announced that they will no longer produce mice and keyboards under their own name, and focus on a Surface brand for said peripherals. This makes sense, as Surface is their popular brand aside from Xbox and Windows. Oh, you know what I just realized? What are Windows made of? A glass surface. Now, funny enough though, speaking of Surface, the laptop I'm using to edit this video on is my laptop studio. Now, I got it for Christmas 2 years ago, and it's become my main editing machine. Now, I use technically three laptops, but two of them are actual laptops. One's my gaming laptop, which I almost use every day, and one of them is my studio laptop, which is the one which I like before. It's the one I'm editing on this video right now. Now, let's talk about the IntelliMouse itself. The IntelliMouse was first released in 1996. It came either a PS2 or 9-pin serial. It was later released with a USB variation. What makes the IntelliMouse stand out from other mice is its scroll wheel. Technically, before it came out, there was the MonadoBoy with a wheel that can be controlled with your thumb. But it was the IntelliMouse that made scroll wheels the norm on all standard mice. Now, a scroll wheel allows you to scroll down web pages and documents without dragging the bar on the right side down. The scroll wheel also doubles as a center click. 3-button mice is nothing new before the IntelliMouse came out. I mean, mice back then had 3 standard buttons. Super business. But when the IntelliMouse came out, it seemed to be convenient to put the center click in the scroll wheel. I should add on here that not all mice out of the IntelliMouse have a scroll wheel as a center click. My Logitech MX Anywhere 2S has the center click below the scroll wheel, and my Surface Arc Mount has a scroll pane in lieu of a scroll wheel, but doesn't have a center click. In 1999, Microsoft updated the IntelliMouse by adding in their Intellimice technology, which makes it an optical mouse. Now, like the scroll wheel, optical mice existed, but here is a big catch. They use 2 lasers, a red laser and infrared laser. This means they require a special mousepad to be used. Starting with the 1999 IntelliMouse, optical mice now tracks on any surface, making them simple and more durable to those ball mice. Yeah, in case if you don't know, mice used to use a ball mechanism that controls the rollers, kind of like a trackball, which I did talk about as a filler episode for Season 1. These rollers get dirty all the time, so optical mice is more convenient these days. Also in 1999, Microsoft released the new and improved IntelliMouse Explorer. In addition to optical sensor, there were 2 digital buttons on the left. These act as the previous and next page, suitable for web browsing and file exploring. Its ergonomics also makes it comfortable to hold. Yeah, now you can see why Microsoft made scroll wheels the norm, unless if you're Apple. And also side buttons, like I mentioned before, unless if you are Apple. Oh, if you thought the only IntelliMouse is the original one, well, buckle up. There's gonna be more than where that came from. A year later in 2000, Microsoft released the IntelliMouse Optical, which is very confusing to say the least, as the Explorer is an optical mouse. This one is unusual, as, while it has 5 buttons, there is 1 button on each side. But that didn't last long, as a year later, Microsoft returned to the 2 additional buttons on the left side with the wireless IntelliMouse Explorer. Besides its wireless capabilities, it also has a 6000 FPS sensor and automatically adjusts its illumination depending on the surface it's on. A Bluetooth version was released the following year. In 2003, both the wired and wireless IntelliMouse Explorer were updated to include a tilt wheel, which not only scrolls up and down, but also left and right, making these ideal for spreadsheets. In 2006, Microsoft re-released the IntelliMouse Explorer as the IntelliMouse Explorer 3.0. This one has a 9000 dpi sensor, ideal for gamers and creative professionals. It is also very lightweight, ergonomic, and comfortable. It was a massive success, influenced many gamer mice like the Razer Dev Adder, SteelSeries Rival, and many others. As a matter of fact, in 2017, Microsoft re-released the 3.0 as the IntelliMouse Classic, which uses modern technology in a classic form, much like how Logitech re-released the MX518 as a GX MX518 Legendary, just updated by adding in their hero sensor. Then in 2019, Microsoft released the IntelliMouse Pro, which is an IntelliMouse Classic, just with high DPI and RGB lighting. It is also the last mouse from Microsoft, the IntelliMouse line, for obvious reasons. You know what's funny? On the wireless version that uses Bluetooth, Microsoft claims that Bluetooth is today and the future. A future Microsoft was correct about, believe it or not. Now, there's some debate if what the IntelliMouse 3.0 came out. I did saw an article officially from Microsoft that say it came out in 2004. Other information you can find say it came out in 2006. Or, don't you believe it? Anyway, why are you demonstrating? Well, here's the thing. I actually ordered it on eBay last week, at the time I'm recording this. So, it's not going to arrive until Monday after I recorded this section. So, to make up for that, let's take a break. First things first, I need to talk about some of my MMD stuff. Now, recently, I've been making some MMD models of the carts from Mario Kart. And let me tell you, building those things together was really tough. A lot of trial and error, but at least I got so far. And second reason, one thing to bring up, is I've been using Ray MMD, which is an effect that turns MMD images from dull and just with normal mapping to a fancy thing that might have come out on Source Filmmaker, which, funny enough, I have done before. Making those in Ray MMD often takes forever. Now I got this thing done. I think we should wait. Let's wait until my IntelliMouse Classic arrives. And by the way, that's the one that I actually ordered. And, oh, one more thing. I realized I actually got ahead of myself when writing the script. As before I was about to make the purchase, the IntelliMouse Pro, which I was about to buy, was actually still official from Microsoft. And yeah, so I had to resort to eBay. And while doing it, I discovered the Wombo combo of eBay scammer tactics. And one of them is actually the most obvious. Make a lower price, only to overinflate the shipping cost. I mean, obviously that's for import, but in the US at least. Now, eBay's where I get most of my stuff. Like that portable DVD player I used in episode 5 of VintageTech. You know, the one with that the intro first appeared in. I got that from eBay. I have to get a lot of my stuff from eBay anyway, so that's something I need to point out. Anyway, I'll go take a break, and I'll see ya the next day. On a bit of a side note here, if you are wondering why the song from Sly 3 is so long, well, the original raw file is literally 10 minutes in length. I did not extend the song, a technique which I used since episode 9. This is why the songs I used in episode 1 and 5 through 8 ended abruptly, technically, and the rest of my series didn't. It took me many years to realize I could actually extend it in Audacity. But this song from Sly 3, The Hazard Room, is literally 10 minutes in length, so I did not have the need to extend it. Also, if you're wondering why this episode took a while to edit, that's because I have been playing Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 on my Series X. So that's something I need to address. Alright, after a few days later, it finally arrived. This is the Classic IntelliMouse, which is based on 3.0, like I mentioned earlier. And I had to get this from eBay instead of directly from Microsoft because, well, I think I mentioned before, or did I? I actually got ahead of myself from writing the script. And showing up because the script, the Pro IntelliMouse was actually sold out, so I just resort to eBay and get this instead. Now, this one is sealed. Oh man, I actually like how Microsoft seals their products with opening like this shrink wrap. Why don't companies do that these days? Because shrink wrap wrap is obviously bad for the environment. Anyway, let's unbox this. Okay, now let's go ahead and open this thing up. And apparently this one is the Chinese version, as evident by the text, I believe. Anyway, let's open this thing up. Open and forget. Look at this. Clickiness. And a wired USB. Now let's see what's else in the box. Well you know, there's a manual that's actually in English. Registry card, and this one's unfortunately Chinese. Well, thankfully, the language matters not, as... Oh, I wonder what's up here. Oh, it's just some packing material. Nothing special. Man, I actually like it when packaging goes in a creative way. Anyway, let's put this into the computer. Okay, before I even record this, this is comfy, believe it or not. Oh my god, this one is a bit comfy and big. It's a chunky. Compared to my main mouse, the Logitech MX Anywhere 2S, it's tiny. If you compare it to another flagship mouse, the Arc mouse, it's actually a bit ergonomic. Granted, this one has a slow thing. Well, this one... No, this one does have a tilt wheel, unlike this one. Now, anyway, if you look at this, you can see the Microsoft logo is used since 2012. You know, the 4 windows? Even though that became the symbol for Windows 11, believe it or not. Now, I wonder if there's some software to program these buttons, other than forward and back, but I don't know. Anyway, let's do some games with it. Now, capturing this one is going to be a bit different. I'm going to use my Sony ZV-1F, which is going to be right now, to capture the mouse, while I use OBS to, capture any gameplay footage. Okay, got OBS up, ready to go. Now, let me show you guys the software for this thing. This one lets you adjust the left mouse button, right mouse button, and the wheel. Or the wheel behavior, believe it or not. Vertical scrolling, you adjust the speed of it, accelerated, or flip the scrolling direction. So that way, if you are used to a trackpad, dragging it down will actually pull up, while dragging it up will actually pull down. Now for all the commands, side button can actually go browser forward, which is default. Although, technically this software is kind of redundant since many games can actually, but the macros on the other hand, oh shoot, this is gonna be a long day. Gross. Things like copy and paste, but the thing I want to show is the DPI setting. It's that the maximum DPI you can get yeah, if you look at that, it looks slow. I think I'll do another video on DPI at a later date. But anyway, let's use the max DPI for maximum gamer efficiency. Of course, what better way to demonstrate this mouse than with an FPS? Let's play something too. Perfect plenty. This is actually the 2019 version. You know, the one with the infamous Bethesda sign-in screen. I have the shotgun. Oh boy. Oh man. God, you can't even look at I do. Anyway, this mouse is can get used to at times. But I usually use the keypad. I definitely use the keypad because I actually love the right stick. Anyway, well, that's it. So, the Microsoft IntelliMouse. Iconic computer mouse that shaped the way how we use mice today, but we have better mouse these days. Some that are wireless. Unfortunately, they wanted to roll wire for this one, but your mileage may vary. Wired mice works best with desktop computers because they get to plug it into the back, while wireless works best with laptops. So granted, I did use a wireless mouse on that gaming laptop before, so what do you expect? Getting design was actually troublesome. Apparently, finding a good one is what's troublesome. Unfortunately, most of them often overinflate the shipping cost to the point of them stealing your money. And that's for the ones that are in the US, as the outside US are more understandable. This episode was troublesome to make. Well, at least it's not troubling as the DS episode, believe it or not. Anyway, well, let me take these sunglasses off. I'm not wearing these things again. Let me put on my regular glasses. Now, before I end this video, I'm going to give a little shout out to the foldable gaming chair. You know the chair that I saw in the first scenes I recorded? Well, that's become my gaming chair. Imagine this. If you want a gaming chair that could fold up to save space, this is the product for you. You unfold it, and you're good to go. And then when you're done, you put the thing away. Now that thing also has a cup holder, a wine glass holder, a slot for your headset, and a little slot for other things like your phone or Switch. Now that has become my go-to chair. If you want to learn more about them, check the link out in the description. Anyway, this is the end for this episode of VintageTech. The next 2 episodes are going to be done in MMD again. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the little bell to notify about videos. Anyway, I'll see you later.